I hadn't picked up a rifle probably about 5 or 6 years before turning up at BRTC.
I could tell.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
If you want to prepare for Holt and have some children, I used to take myself off of an evening just to record this.
Just as block jobs were starting.
Yeah. I'm AS1 Chris Keane from 7644 Squadron.
And I am AS2 Miles Webb from 4624 Squadron Logistics Mover.
And we're here to answer all of these questions in this bowl from the RAF BRTC Part 1 and 2 Recruit Diaries, which we did on YouTube. First question comes in from @RideWithMe14, great username. What has been the hardest part of training for you so far?
I think it was the CBRN, so the chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear training, so all the respirator work. I found there was an awful lot of stuff to learn, you know, all the different drills, the drinking drills, you know, the decontamination drills. It was just a lot to achieve, and I think we only have 9 seconds to get the respirator out of our pouch and on our face before we can take another breath.
There's no faking it, is there? Because
No.
if you're in the chamber and you don't do your drills properly and you take on a little bit of that gas, you're going to be coughing and spluttering, and they'll know that you're not doing it properly. Yeah. So there's a bit of pressure there as well. So yeah, for me that was definitely the hardest part. Yeah. Question from Old Pink 1982. Is there a wide range of dates to select from for the course to fit around day, job, family commitments? Thanks for a really useful set of videos. No problem. So yeah, is it quite flexible, the dates?
Yeah, so there's 2 parts to BRTC. You've got the part 1. Now there's 2 ways you can do that. The way that Chris and I did it on different courses is that the Northern Reserve Support Wing up at RAF Leeming run a week-long course, and it's Friday to Friday, and you just smash out all of the part 1 stuff before going to Holton. I really enjoyed that. They do one of those every month, and I actually am quite glad that I did it that way because it felt fresh.
I think the really important thing to remember with the reserves is they want you to be in the reserves. They'll work with you and they'll do everything they can to get you on board and in the reserves. So if you can't make a date, they'll do everything they can to get you on the course around your work and around your family commitments. So they're really good. Shebs or Sherbs 940 asks, is there a series like this that works for the regulars? Would be good like this format as the old ones feel dated now. Everything we do in our 15 days is everything that the regulars do in their training. So if you watch R1, and although it's only 15 days, we just compact everything in. So whereas we'll do first aid for a day and a half or 2 days, the regulars will spend like a week.
The only other, not the only other bits, but the additional parts that the regulars would do is a lot more with the blue uniform, rifle drill. They'll do a lot more fizz as well. We did a portion of that in our part 1 of BRTC before we turned up at RAF Holton.
Yeah, it is.
Musa-E7U6I asks, is weapons handling test the same in the RAF, so the RAF Air Cadets, and RAF? To add to that, the rifle looks the same as the one the RAF use, the L98A2, which is an SA80 variant. The answer is yes and no. So I hadn't picked up a rifle probably about 5 or 6 years before turning up at BRTC.
I could tell.
Yeah, thanks, mate. But it comes back to you remarkably quickly. There are some variations. The obvious one being that it has the automatic and semi-automatic switch, which the L98A2 doesn't have. And some of the drills are slightly different, but many of them are practically identical.
Right. Hoko135 asks, how much time have you got to sleep every night?
So, I mean, I probably averaged 6 to 7 hours,
yeah.
But there were some nights where it was probably a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
It just depended on what the next day entailed. If you had an inspection the next day, then you had less sleep.
Yeah. Well, I've got 4 children, so I'm used to like no sleep whatsoever. So that really prepared me. If you want to prepare for Holt and have some children, But to be fair, I think the only time I lacked sleep was on the exercise.
I was about to say that.
Definitely that. And especially if you get awkward stag times. So when you're on exercise, you have to stag on twice. So basically get up, patrol round and just make sure all your guys and girls on the course with you get some sleep whilst you're guiding the harbour area. So if you get awkward stag times, by that I mean, if you get the first stag time at was it 9 o'clock?
Yeah, I nailed that on the first night.
Yeah. And then the last stag time, which is 5 till 6 a.m. or 4 till 5 a.m. But if you get really awkward ones, like I got 3 a.m. until 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Which was really hard because you go to sleep, you get nice and comfy, and then you have to get up in the middle of the night.
Right, so at xnicoszn7361 asks, is this only for reserves?
Yeah, so the video we did was purely about the reserve basic training, but even though the regulars, the course is about 9 or 10 weeks, it's a lot longer than our 15 days. Everything you see in our videos, you will be doing on the regular training. So literally everything, CBRN, rifle drill, first aid, it's just a little bit more extended, isn't it? So whereas we'll spend like a day and a half on first aid, you'll spend a week on first aid. And that's like that for all of the aspects of the course.
It's very difficult at Halton to do any additional PT, and you don't really need to.
No, I mean, there's no time, is there?
That march up that hill, I mean, I was definitely thinner by the end of Halton.
So 4 Brothers -S3F. I love these handles there. It's the most entertaining part. If you had a favourite aircraft in the RAF, what would it be? Second question, what's the best thing about your experience in the RAF so far?
We'll start with the first question. It's a really broad question. It depends whether we're talking about aircraft past or aircraft present. So if we go with present, I guess there's kind of 3 answers to it. There'll be a lot of people that rib me if I don't say the Grob Viking glider, which I went solo in when I was 16. And I'd probably get abused if I didn't reference it.
You're not a pilot.
No, I don't like to talk about it. So the other answer, if we're talking frontline, the C-17. I'm a mover, right? I get to load C-17s. They're huge. You could play football in the back of them if the load master would let you. But they're just so vast. It's unreal that this thing takes off, and the angle of climb it has is pretty awesome. But then you've got to give a shout out to the BBMF. I really like the Spitfire PR19. Yeah, that's a beautiful aircraft.
Yeah, I think for me, very technical answers they were. For me, it's the sound of the Chinook, which I love. I just love the Chinook. I'm such a big fan of the Chinook. When I was 15 or 16 in the Air Cadets, I remember going to RF Odeon for an air experience flight, and that was incredible. And then I tried to join the RAF when I was about 17, 18 as a weapons system operator. Didn't go to plan, didn't get in, but the reason why I wanted to be a whiz-up was to hang out the side or the back of a Chinook. It just looked amazing, and ever since then really I've just loved the aircraft. And where I live now, and they're constantly flying over just to do exercise on Salisbury Plain, it's just so good to see, and I'm constantly out there filming them flying over. It never gets boring. So yeah, for me, Chinook, 100%.
I'm not jealous of your flight in a Chinook.
I'd say, have you not been in one?
No, I've sat in one, but I've never experienced that waka waka.
Yeah, oh, that's so
visceral
good.
noise.
Yeah.
It's another one with a hyphen. Right, so at James-DJ60H asks, apologies if I missed this, what trade are you going for, and best of luck?
Oh, thanks. So I'm going for media comms, media and PR. So I'm with 7644 Squadron, and we are the media and PR squadron of the Royal Air Force. So anything to do with kind of filming or videography, interviewing, media minding as well, PR, press releases, anything kind of, public relations or media. We get to go out and do all sorts of fun things. So some amazing taskings already. One of them was capturing the first flight of the Wedgetail at Birmingham Airport. That was amazing. But also just being able to put number 1s on and be proud to wear it. So I know that sounds really cheesy, but just being in the RAF and being proud to wear the uniform is amazing for me. I had the opportunity to lay a wreath at one of the ice hockey matches on Remembrance Sunday, which was brilliant. So I got to go out on the ice on my number 1s and everyone was there. Just, yeah, best experience, just being proud. Really.
Did you have skates on as well?
No, it was really slippy as well. So I had my shoes on, yeah, it's really slippy. So, and we didn't have a carpet. We were meant to have a carpet. They didn't lay one out, so we were just like slipping all over the shop.
I would have paid money to watch that. Cool.
I think it's been filmed, so I'll find it for you.
Thanks. Okay, what we got next? So, Ride With Me 14 again, finally asks, what are the other recruits or personnel like? Chris?
Yeah, they're all right. This one's all right. No, they were all amazing. It was so nice to meet them. Just really nice to get on with. I think we gelled instantly, didn't we, as a team? Yeah. On the first night, gelled absolutely instantly as a team. Zudins55 asks, were you asked by the RAF to do this, or did you do this on your own out of interest?
Only you can answer that.
Yeah.
You're the mastermind.
Yeah, I wanted to do it really because I saw a few videos on YouTube about the recruit training, but nothing that really kind of answered the questions that I had. I had loads of questions going into BRTC Part 1 and 2. It was just fun to be able to take a camera in and now show people what it's actually like on the inside.
High Peak Multimedia asks, who from 7664 Squadron is filming you?
Firstly, it's 7644 Squadron.
What did I say?
No, you read it correctly.
Oh, okay.
But it was me. So I was lucky enough, as I said, to take my camera in with me, and I set up the tripod, put it on self-film, and then found a bed space, my bed space or another bed space, or the room downstairs, and just sat there talking to my camera. I used to take myself off of an evening just to record this.
Just as block jobs are starting.
Yeah. And then all the cutaways you see, again, I just got my camera out, and the staff on the team were all asking them if I could film, and they were all really good with it. So yeah, all the cutaways, just myself on my own. I would have loved to have a proper team like this, but it wasn't to be.
I think you did a good job, mate.
The final question is a long one. So Digital Octane 7371 asks, approximately how long does it take from hitting the apply button on the website? A, the info session, B, initial fitness test, C, BRTC 1 and D, BRTC 2. I know there's going to be some variance per applicant, but given a normal progression, are we talking 2 months or 6 months?
Yeah, it does vary. So one of the guys that I did my phase 2 with, he got through the entire application process in it's somewhere between 6 weeks to a month, wow. Which is rapid. For me, I talk about myself, I went to the information day before I'd actually put the application in, so I kind of got in touch with the squadron and said, oh, I'm interested, and they did an information day. So I did that in March, and then turned around to the recruiting sergeant and said, I've got to get married and my wife is not going to be too impressed if I start doing this. So I then got married and then came back and continued my application in May. So it took me from May to October. If you apply with the mindset of 6 months, yeah, you probably find yourself being surprised and doing it quicker than that. You know, I think feasibly you could do it in 3 months, if not shorter, if you're proactive.
Really does vary per applicant. So for me, I'm completely the opposite scale. It took me just under 3 years to join, but that's because COVID got in the way. It's also very different with my squadron, whereas everyone that joins my squadron 7644 is a media professional, so you have to submit a CV. So them CVs then need to be sifted. You're then invited to an interview. Once you've completed that one, you're then a boarded interview, then an RAF interview, and then you're back on track then with the normal kind of joining process of medical, fitness test, BRTC Part 1 and BRTC Part 2. So for me, it was a lot longer. COVID really did get in the way because everything kind of came to a halt, understandably. But what I would say on that is, if like me, it takes ages, don't give up hope. Definitely do not give up hope because it's well worth it, isn't it? It's well worth it once you get through and you've passed out. Even the graduation day was just amazing. It was just such a proud moment. So don't give up hope. It takes longer than expected. Don't get frustrated. And we're here. Regulars are here, reservists are here. Reach out and just talk to them if you are getting a little bit frustrated. It's taking longer than you expected, but stick with it, 100%. Cool, well, there you go, empty bowl of questions. Thank you so much for submitting everything, really appreciated, and I hope we were able to answer them as best as we could, and we hope you had the answers that you were looking for. If you've still got any dying questions or burning requests, then just still drop them in the comments of this video. Although we may not be able to reply to them like this, like a video, we'll get the team to reply to your comment in written form. But yeah, thank you so much for watching all the diaries, and thank you for submitting your questions.